These are the shoulder pulleys. I'm going to show you 3 different movements that I love with the shoulder pulleys to gradually restore shoulder range of motion. The first movement is shoulder flexion. We're going to take the non-affected upper extremity and you're going to pull straight down with the non-affected upper extremity to allow the affected one to go straight up into the air. Okay, so what I'm doing here is I'm pulling straight down with my right hand so that my left hand goes straight up into the air. The great thing about these pulleys are you can kind of adjust where you feel like an appropriate end range is for you by kind of sliding the beads on the pulleys, or by just kind of self-adjusting with how far down you pull, right? So if your shoulder's not ready for that kind of full range, don't pull down as far, but kind of find what's appropriate for you, and then let that affected upper extremity kind of get pulled through that full available range of motion. Maybe add kind of 1 or 2% at the top, hold that stretch for a second or two, and then kind of use your handbrake here to come back down. So that non-affected upper extremity kind of acts as a handbrake as you come back down, take some pressure off of the affected upper extremity. You're going for about 2 to 3 rounds, 10 to 12 repetitions there. So that's shoulder flexion. Number 2, we're going to do what's called shoulder abduction. I tell my patients in the clinic, this is kind of like that shoulder, or that kind of like that snow angel type position. So as if you're making like a snow angel outside, that's the kind of movement we're going to make. It's going to be like this big swooping range of motion over. So to do that, you're going to take the non-affected upper extremity, and you're going to pull it out to the side to allow that affected upper extremity to kind of swoop up and over. So it's this big swooping range of motion, like I'm taking my thumb as far towards the other side as I can and back down. Again, if you feel like you're getting tight towards a certain range, don't go any higher than where you feel comfortable. Find what you're comfortable with, pause for a second or two, and then back down. Okay, so if you can get to about 130 degrees or so there, pause for that second or two, then use your handbrake to control it back down so you're not going any faster than what you're comfortable with. These are slow, controlled movements here where we're just trying to work on that range of motion. Don't go any faster than what's comfortable and then what you feel okay with. 2 to 3 rounds, about 10 to 12 repetitions. The last one is called shoulder internal rotation. I'm going to stand up for this one to kind of show you what this movement is. What you're going to do is you're going to take one aspect of the pulley and you're going to hold it kind of on your belt line, so holding it behind your back. The other hand is going to hold on to the shoulder pulley and you're going to pull that hand kind of up your back. Okay, so you're going to go from here and then you're pulling that hand kind of up your back to allow you to reach behind your back. Okay, so this is shoulder internal rotation here. Now with that one, you want to make sure that you're staying in that kind of comfortable position, within that comfortable range of motion, making sure that if you've recently had a shoulder surgery, especially a total shoulder arthroplasty or a shoulder replacement surgery, that you're not breaking any of your precautions. So if you've recently had shoulder surgery, it's best to kind of check with that shoulder surgeon before doing that last exercise. If you haven't had shoulder surgery, then just stay within your comfort zone with that one because it's a very functional position to get in and out of when you're tucking in your shirt, when you're putting on a seatbelt. We have to kind of internally rotate that shoulder, so it's an important range of motion to get back into. 2 to 3 rounds, 10 to 12 repetitions of all of those. This is the sideline external rotation. You're going to set up on the opposite side from which you're working. You're going to take a small towel roll. So you're going to take like a kitchen towel and make it into a roll. You're going to tuck it under your armpit. With your elbow bent, you're going to squeeze your shoulder blade down and then squeeze down onto that towel roll. And you're going to lift your hand straight up and back down to go into external rotation. I'm only going as high as I feel comfortable. I'm going to go up and down about 10 to 12 times to get some activation of that posterior rotator cuff. We're going to go for about 10 to 12 repetitions here. If it's very easy for you, add a small weight. It doesn't take a lot with this one. Usually just a couple pounds will do. If you don't have a small weight at home, you can use a water bottle, a can of soup, something like that to get a little external load. If body weight is appropriate for right now, that's totally fine. Going for about 10 to 12 repetitions, about 2 sets through. This is the supine serratus press. This is a great exercise to start working shoulder protraction to get some of the stabilizing muscles around the shoulder activated and a little bit stronger. You're gonna set up on your back with both knees bent. Your arm is gonna be straight out in front of you in this kind of 90-degree position, so 90 degrees at the shoulder. And what you're going to do is you're going to punch your arm up towards the ceiling, keeping your elbow straight. Pause for a second, and then come back down. Punch your arm up towards the ceiling, pause for a second, and then back down. If you're looking to make this a little bit harder and to add a little bit of external load, you can hold like a can of soup or a water bottle, something like that. Or if you have some small weights at home, usually somewhere in the 3 to 5 pound range is appropriate for this exercise. This is the supine serratus punch, going for 2 to 3 sets, about 10 to 12 repetitions with a 1-second pause at the top. This is the banded scapular retraction. What you're going to do is you're going to set up with your light to moderate band. With your thumbs up, you're going to pull your shoulder blades back and then open up the arms. Kind of pull that band towards your belly. We're getting some shoulder rotator cuff kind of turned on here. And we're also kind of working that external rotation range of motion. This is the banded scapular retraction. We're going for about 2 to 3 sets, 10 to 12 repetitions. This shouldn't be painful. If it's painful, the first thing that you should do is look to reduce the amount of load that you're doing. So either go with a lighter band, or you can just go with body weight. So you don't necessarily even need the band for this. If the band is too much right now, you can just do the same kind of motion with body weight, whichever is more appropriate for you. Looking for 2 to 3 sets, 10 to 12 repetitions of the banded scapular retraction.